welcome to International at the National Newspaper, where we look at a whole range of geopolitical events and how they relate to Scotland, to Europe, and to the whole of the world. This week we're going to be looking at Pakistan and its relationship with the US, which has been fast deteriorating over the past few years. We're also going to look at the new burgeoning relationship between Pakistan and China and how that affects the hegemony of the West, especially in relation to Afghanistan and Iran. Here are 5 reasons why Trump's announcement on Pakistan is absolutely vital. So, in a tweet, Trump said that we've been giving Pakistan £33 billion over the past 15 years, and what have we got for it? Simply deceit. He's pointing to the fact that Pakistan has had a rather dubious relationship in terms of its intelligence services with certain terror groups or certain Sunni Islamist groups, and their effect on the politics and geopolitical strategy in Afghanistan and America's attempt to try and imperially settle Afghanistan. Now Trump is pulling the plug on military aid or the ability for Pakistan to buy new weapons. Let's look at why this has huge implications for the relationship between the US Pakistan, the West Pakistan, Afghanistan, the way the West interacts with that part of the world, but also on the rise of China as a hegemonic power. So first, if we look at the amounts, yes, there's been a huge amount of money that's been given from America to Pakistan. Really, the huge amounts of funds really start getting going in the 1970s. We're looking at 1971 to 1974 with the Bhutto prime ministerial period, as well as General Zia al-Haq, who is the military dictator of Pakistan, the leader of Pakistan who forged greater links with the Gulf Arab states, as well as the Islamification of Pakistan society. But also, we need to look at the politics of what happened post-Soviet Afghan war, where we had huge amounts of money being funneled through Pakistan to the benefit of certain Islamist groups, as well as the Northern Alliance in Afghanistan, to fight by proxy the Soviet Union. And of course it was hugely successful. Now, we see the costs of not being able to have a good relationship with Pakistan when it comes to helping the Afghan government deal with the tensions that it's had with rural tribes, as well as trying to enforce law and order in the country. So between November 2011 and July 2012, the cost of funneling US support to Afghanistan, when Pakistan cut off ties very briefly with the US in terms of military support to Afghanistan, rose from $17 million to $104 million a month. That's a skyrocketing amount and really shows how strategically beneficial the relationship is between US military support to Afghanistan and Pakistan as a conduit. Remember, Iran and Pakistan both had a joint role pre the 1979 Islamic Revolution. After the revolution, the US found itself relying a lot heavier on Pakistan as the sole way in order to lay a corridor or conduit for weapons into Afghanistan. Now, security aid from the US to Pakistan has actually been declining in recent years. In 2003 it was 1.6 billion, but last year in fiscal terms it was around about 319 million, showing the reduction of unity and communication between the two countries, thus entering China. Now, why is China important? Now, if you look at it from a Western perspective, China has been growing as a hegemonic power. It's been forging economic alliances with countries in the BRIC nations, of which it is a member. It's been forging economic ties with India, while also there's been tensions with India, as well as tensions over the question of islands, resources and ownership in the South China Sea. But also it's been training Pakistani pilots, it's been doing special forces training jointly with Pakistan and Russia. And of course we have this odd alliance, what the Iranian Foreign Minister Javad Zarif likes to call an alliance of the resistance, growing between Russia, China, Turkey, Iran, Pakistan, any nation which feels alienated by the West, that feels that they need to group together in order to resist Western influence, be it through the guise of US foreign policy, Saudi policy or Israeli security measures within the region. And so we start to see this growth of Chinese influence within Pakistan. It's going to make that whole section of the world, the Afghan corridor, the old Silk Road route, fascinating in years to come from an economic as well as a resources and security point of view. And of course, China is trying to develop a new Silk Road route, whether that's in terms of tangible investment projects, the building of new ports, naval connections with Pakistan and Iran, or overland train infrastructure projects going through the whole of the Uzbek, Afghanistan, northern India, Pakistan, Iran and Turkey region. So from resources and an economic strategic point of view, this alienation between Pakistan and America, although understandable given the reasons the Americans have given over issues of terrorism and Pakistani intelligence and being a dubious partner, it's going to have huge implications for the West. And one could argue that the US administration hasn't thought things through.